23 here on this day after the storms across the valley. Things are quieter today so far, but there could be some thunderstorms trying to form today. The atmosphere's kind of been quieted down now. We'll see if it has time to try to charge back up with the afternoon heating today to produce some storms, but still at least a possibility of some storms returning. Lower rain chances after today. I think Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday there might be a couple random showers around, but not looking for any widespread rain or heavier rain possibilities. I think those days look overall quieter. And highs mainly in the 90s. No more 100s. In fact, no more heat advisories for a while. The rain has really cooled things off today. It's mainly in the mid 80s right now. And reminder though, flash flood watch in effect for most of the valley. Hidalgo, Willacy, and Cameron counties. This goes all the way until tomorrow morning. Even though it may not be as intense if thunderstorms form as yesterday, since everything's still very wet right now and saturated or still flooded, it won't take very much rain to cause more flooding problems. So instead of getting, 7 or 10 inches that cause bad flooding, maybe if you only get 2 or 3 in some areas that are very wet, that could cause some flooding as well. So something to keep an eye on later today. As far as totals from last night, this is the estimated rainfall total across the valley. You see the bullseye was definitely from about Harlingen northwestward into southwest Willacy County. With some rain gauges there. We had a picture of one kind of, I think, east of the Ed Couch area with about 12 inches in it. So there were some spots that had close to 12 inches or maybe a little more. Radar estimated higher amounts than that. If you look at the totals, 14 inches estimated, kind of about right there northwest of Sebastian in southwest Willacy County, even close to a foot. And the northwest side of Harlingen. Harlingen was kind of split. If you live on the south side of Harlingen near the border of San Benito, only maybe 3 or 4 inches of rain on average there, but you get on the northwest side and that was very bad with totals right around 12 inches. And you see the totals all the way up into Willacy County pretty high as well. And again, here's a little bit closer look from the west side of Harlingen, almost 12 inches of rain there, but then it drops off a little bit, but still some flooding in the Mercedes area with about 8 or more inches of rain, and then amounts of about 7 to 8 inches around Weslaco and parts of the Donna area. Then the farther west you go, it kind of dropped off, amounts about 3 to 4 or 5 inches around Farr, McAllen, and Edinburgh at the most, although one of our storm trackers here in Farr, I think, did have a total as high as about 7 inches. So there were a few pockets of some heavier rain, but once you got west of McAllen, Starr County was generally under about 2 or 3 inches at the most. Now you can see this is the radar playing back here. Things are a lot quieter today. I want to take you back in time. Let me step off to the side. I want to load it up going back to yesterday, go back 24 hours and play it, and you'll see the difference between yesterday and today. So here's the last 24 hours, and when it loops, you'll see that we kind of got the 3 factors that came into play. We had a lot of moisture in the air. We had a boundary come down from the north that was left over from storms that were farther to the north. So as that plays over again, you'll see that come down, and then we had storms off to the west come, and everything kind of just converged right on the valley. And unfortunately, that was the wrong time and spot for us. It gave us the heavy rain. Now, most everything now has pushed off to the east. You can kind of watch the flow of everything. It's drifted out into the Gulf. So with the air kind of stabilized right now, we'll have to try to see if things heat up enough to get any showers or storms building up today. I think the next couple of hours look dry, but late this afternoon and evening, we'll have to see if any storms are able to form. Again, flash flood watch in effect for the area. This area, though, in darker green is the flood warning. Basically, these are the areas that got the most rain and still have some ongoing flooding. And a lot of roads may still be underwater in some of those spots or have water on them. So watch out if you're driving basically from Harlingen westward toward about Mercedes and then to the north toward Raymondville and western Willacy County. Again, big storms offshore right now, some heavier rain and lightning out there, but this again is moving away from us. We'll have to see if anything forms behind it. Some of this rain's headed to the north, a little wave of thunderstorms going up the coast toward the Houston area. So if you happen to catch a flight through there today or traveling north or know someone who is, kind of remind them there could be some storms up and down the Texas coast. Temperatures are mainly in the 80s right now. A couple spots kind of knocked off the map from the storms, but primarily in the 80s. In your day planner for this afternoon, again, we should heat back into the 90s. I have to see where the tipping point is, where we get hot enough where we could start to maybe spark a shower or storm. But I think the best chance, if any storms form, we're talking probably 3 or 4 in the afternoon through about 7 or 8 at night, kind of early in the evening. I don't think it'll be nearly as widespread or as intense as last night. We don't have as many factors coming together. So your first 1-5 AccuWeather 7-day forecast. High temperatures 92 today. Storms could still be a bit likely today if they do get going, so kind of just watch for that. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, less in terms of rain chances and less amounts, less coverage. Highs in the 90s, lows in the 70s. By the weekend, we'll show you how things start to change later in the weekend coming up. There's another disturbance trying to come in from the east that may start to pick up the daily thunderstorm chances by later in the weekend and next week, too. So it's something to watch down the road for 4th of July week. We'll track it coming up on Channel 5 News at noon.